Welcome to Beyond the Next Chapter. Today, we are getting the chance to hear from a reader favorite, and that is author Jeneva Rose. She's out with her newest thriller, The Perfect Divorce. This is the much anticipated sequel to The Perfect Marriage. The Perfect Marriage was published back in 2020. It was Geneva's debut, and it's sold more than 2 million copies since then. So 5 years later, we get to catch up once again with Sarah Morgan. Jeneva is a New York Times bestselling author known for her twisty crime novels, and she's written 10 books so far, with even more coming out this year. So, Jeneva, congrats on The Perfect Divorce. You didn't actually get a divorce, but the book, The Perfect Divorce, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, where are you joining us from? You're sort of in the middle of this book tour right now.
I am in Nashville. I can see Broadway right now. I was just down there listening to some music before
I love
I came
it.
back.
Every bar has like great music in Nashville, I feel like.
Oh yeah, very. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. So the book is out now. How are you feeling? What has it been like to kind of hear readers' initial thoughts and reviews?
It's been great. Like when I decided I was going to write a sequel, and I did not want to write a sequel until I felt like I had an idea that made sense for the characters, their growth, that I could reopen the story and that would also make sense. And then because people were loved the twists and reveals in The Perfect Marriage, I knew I needed those in The Perfect Divorce. And my last two events, people that had advanced reader copies or ones that binge read it before the event last night, they were like, it's better than The Perfect Marriage. And I was like, okay, I'm a little offended, but thank you. I did not want to fall into that sequel curse. So I really made sure I was ready to write it and I would be proud of it when I was done.
It's like, thank you, ? But thank you.
Means I'm growing.
Totally. So when did you decide, at what point did you decide, okay, I have an idea for a sequel. This is a great idea.
It wasn't like I had an idea for how the plot could open up. And it's, there's that DNA evidence in the first one, not really a spoiler, that I knew was lingering. It was an unknown question. And that I knew after I finished writing The Perfect Marriage, I could use that. But it wasn't until I would say late 2023, early 2024 that I sat down and I really thought about what these characters would be up to now and what would change for them and why there would be another installment. And then also coming up with those twists and reveals that I was like, I'm ready to write this and I'm ready to pitch it to a publisher.
So tell readers where the story starts and sort of where it goes. Again, spoiler-free zone in The Perfect Divorce.
Yeah, so it picks up 1 year after The Perfect Marriage ended, and Sarah is in a relationship. She's in a marriage with Bob, and Bob has cheated on her. He had a one-night stand, so she wants to just file for divorce and be done and be able to walk away with their daughter, Summer. But Bob does not want to get a divorce. However, at the same time, while they're in this battle, the Kelly Summers murder case is reopened. That's the one that her ex-husband was on trial for. And that throws a wrench into everything. And then to add even more chaos to this, Bob's one night stand goes missing. And so it turns into this cat and mouse game of what's really going on. And, can they achieve the perfect divorce? It's only perfect if they both survive it.
Let's talk a little bit about Sarah Morgan. What was it like stepping back sort of into her world?
It had been a while, a long time since I had stepped into Sarah Morgan's brain, and I was worried I would not be able to get back into her voice, but it came very easily, and I was like, that's weird. So hers was very easy to get back into, and I just kind of went right into it. And it was just, I don't know, she's very snarky and witty, and she has these little jabs, inner monologue and external, her actual communication and dialogue with other characters. And I'm very witty. I'm not rude though, like she can be. So I think that's just fun to play with. And it was easy to kind of step back into that.
What has really stood out to you, and what's been your favorite part of sort of BookTok and seeing books and more readers become aware of your books through TikTok? I don't even know if that made sense, but basically I want to talk about BookTok and what you like about it.
I love BookTok because when I jumped on TikTok, I was a scroller, I was just a viewer. And at the time it was, everyone said oh, it's just for teens dancing. But when I was on there, I was like, no, people are looking to share their likes, their dislikes. They're recommending movies, they're recommending TV shows, they're showing DIY hacks and cooking recipes. I'm like, there are people that want to connect. They want community. So I think when I started like promoting books on there or my work on there, I saw that and people were like, this is how books should be marketed. Like, I always think of like, they were like, I thought of like reading is so daunting or it's boring and that it could be entertaining and fun. And I think BookTok showed a lot of people that weren't readers that it can be just as entertaining as turning on Netflix or playing a video game. So I think it's been extremely positive. I think it's saved, publishing in a lot of ways because book growth just it's continuing to grow. I mean, Barnes and Noble stores are opening up like wild now. And there was a point in time when I lived in Chicago, we had no Barnes and Noble stores. And I did the grand opening for two of them before I moved out of Chicago. So
Wow.
I think it's saved the industry. It's saved people too. I have had so many people come up to me at my events that they were like, your book was the first book I picked up out of a classroom. And now I actually have a hobby. I had no hobbies before, or it's given me a connection with my mom or my sister or my husband. And so I think it's not only saved the industry, it's saved a lot of people.
What advice would you have for an author who might want to also kind of follow in your path and start marketing themselves and maybe using TikTok or these other platforms?
I would say don't try to go on like, these are communities. It's not just about pushing your product or trying to sell, sell, sell. Don't treat it like an advertisement. Like share what you're doing. And I know I've had a lot of like author friends who are like, well, I'm not funny or I don't have a hype husband. And I was like, I will literally watch people organize their kitchen. You don't have to be super entertaining.
I'll watch someone clean their kitchen too.
I know. I'm like, it's just like people want to like we like to live vicariously through others. We're interested in what other people are doing in their household and in their lives. And if like you have like a quirk or a little hobby or something, that's interesting. And I've shared like just silly things too that I couldn't believe people were interested in it. And so I'm like, your lives are more interesting than you think they are because I watch like people like try to bounce balls into cups and what am I doing?
I am a big, big, big time TikTok scroller as well. And it's incredible the types of things that will entertain me in a very short amount of time. Speaking of hype husbands, you have a hype husband, Drew, correct? Who you do post
Yes.
videos of him. What has it been like to sort of show the world your real life marriage and your real life as well?
It's been a lot of fun because people have gotten to know him and he's on tour with me. And like when people meet us in person, they're like, oh my God, you're exactly who you are online. And I was like, it'd be way too hard to fake it. I'm like, you get what you get. And so it's been fun showing him off and people seeing him in the light that I've always seen him in. And it's just been a cool experience for both of us.
Is there something about, you or him or the two of you that maybe people don't know that you hope that they can learn about you in the future or right now?
I don't know. I mean, we've been together for 11 years, married for 6. We've gone through a lot together. I think people know this. Like, I think the reason we work so well is like we have the same sense of humor and like we're best friends. And so I've had people be like, oh my God, is it like, do you get annoyed? So you're like, now he's like working with me and we go on tour. And I'm like, no, he's my best friend. Wouldn't you want to spend time with your best friend? So, but I think people know that about us
Yeah.
because we're just always having fun together, which is otherwise, if we weren't, I would be like, you're not coming on tour with me.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of being on tour and a favorite part of getting to meet the readers that love your book so much?
My favorite part is actually meeting the readers and seeing like their excitement because it's very surreal where they're like, I'm nervous and I'm like, don't be, my God, if you could see me lying on my couch watching reality TV, you would not be nervous around me at all. So I think that's what's fun because writing it's a very solo activity. It's a lot of time spent in my own head and just at my own desk. So when I do get to go out and I get to see the impact I've had or the readers that are so happy to read my books or just the fact that they're giving up an evening with me, or to spend time with me is wild. And so that's probably my favorite. My least favorite is probably the travel aspect of being on a plane every day, but we get through it.
Yeah. So you're in the middle of the tour right now. Where else are you going to be heading in the next few weeks?
This week I have Lexington, St. Louis, and then Appleton, Wisconsin. And then next week I'm in, I don't know the towns, but it's like near Baltimore,
Okay.
near Boston, Houston, Austin, Texas. I think that's it. It's 9 cities in 2 weeks. That was my cut down, my compromise being 6.5 months pregnant.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you have 3 books coming out this year?
Yes.
Okay. So you have 3 books coming out this year. You're also going to be a mom. How has being pregnant, how has being getting ready to welcome a child into the world changed who you are as an author, as a writer, at least up until this point?
I mean, so a lot of like all of this, the books that are coming out, that's all of the work I did really in 2024. And I didn't learn I was pregnant until November. But since November, I think I'm like Midwest nice. I say yes to everything. And like people that surround me, they're like, you need to stop. But I do think it's made me prioritize my own health and like stress, and realizing me saying yes to everything does not actually help me. And especially now that I'm like carrying a child, I think that's what it's helped me, is kind of set boundaries and push back on things, like just requests like from a publisher to do more or sign more copies or whatnot. It's like I can only do so much. So I think that's what it's done, is realized and making me realize that my health is a priority and that I can't do it all. I'll do as much as I can,
Yeah.
but I can't do it all.
And how has it been with Drew, your husband? What has it been like? You know, you're best friends. You've been together for 11 years. What has it been like going into this phase with him?
It's been, I mean, he's been awesome. He cooks for me. He's been super supportive, and he knows like he's always just like, I'm in awe of you, that like I know how you're feeling. And then you go up on stage in front of hundreds of people and you just shine, and you make every single person feel special when they come and meet you afterwards. So I think it's just been, I don't know, him realizing more of what I'm doing, because I'm also carrying a child now. That's just made it a lot better in terms of appreciating each other even more so than we did before.
Yeah, totally. So if readers are listening to this and they do want to connect with you on social media, do you have a favorite platform? Do you kind of just use all of them differently?
I do use them all differently. I'm mainly TikTok, Instagram, and then I have a Facebook reader group. I created a Facebook reader group called Geneva Rose's Convention of Readers.
Mm.
That's my silly gaggle of geese. And I created that because I used to be able to reply to every single comment and DM. And if I did that now, I would never write a book. So now I have that group, and that's where I post in there. And actually, my husband's an admin, and he'll post in there. And I just do more in there and be able to reply back so I can see more, versus on my TikTok or my Instagram. But I do post like my videos all on TikTok and Instagram. So that's at Geneva Rose Author for those two.
And then what can you tell us about the other 2 books that are also coming out this year?
The Girl I Was is actually a previously self-published title. A publisher picked it up, and I was able to go back and re-edit it, revamp it, and expand it. So there are 6 new chapters in there. It's been completely re-edited, revamped. It'll release in hardcover for the first time, and that book comes out July 15th. And that was actually the first book I ever wrote. That was the book I wrote to work through the grief of losing my own mother. And then the other book is called Dating After the End of the World. It is a post-apocalyptic zombie enemies to lovers romance. And that releases September 30th. The genre is unhinged, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm excited about that one.
You know, it's funny because I heard someone else tell me that they want to write a book in that similar genre. There's something about that post-apocalyptic like world that I feel like is very attractive to people right now, especially like when it comes to romance. Do you have a genre that you would like to explore or write in that you haven't at this point?
I don't know. I'm always like, I think true crime, like writing a true crime novel and being able to like sink my teeth into like the research and finding this case that is so enthralling would be interesting, and be a very different, because I don't think I can inject any of my humor into it. So, but I do think it would be just very like more journalistic, more talking to people, and that could be a lot of fun to do. Not fun, but
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want readers to know about The Perfect Divorce?
I mean, it's in stores now. Target has an exclusive edition with a beautiful red cover, and Barnes and Noble is also offering an exclusive edition, which has gorgeous end papers and then an author letter from me.
Jeneva, thank you so much, and congratulations on all your success. Really love The Perfect Divorce. It's hard to talk about it without like giving too much away, but The Perfect Marriage, The Perfect Divorce, lots of twists, which we love, so we appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Yeah, thank you.